Right, morning everybody. So welcome back to NZ Marko at the Kustom again. Got caught up in videos, just loaded yesterday's stuff on YouTube, which will drop in the morning. So on that video, we started building a new side valance. Sorry about the rain, it's loud, but hopefully you can still hear me okay. I'll bring this a little closer. So we started hammer forming and folding this new valance up. So I've got a wee bit of shaping to do down here. So I've got this piece here, which was folded in in somebody else's finger brake folder, sheet metal brake, whatever you want to call it. I folded all this in somebody else's because mine's not long enough. But I've actually got to flatten this out because it's not like that from here. Same at the other end, but I built that crude form at the other end to sort of shape this in. I might actually unscrew this and just put a little bit more shape in here. Bring it around here a little bit like that, just so it matches a little bit better. Or we'll actually hold this against here and just have a bit more of a look. I should have put I put some masking tape on here, traced the line out, transferred it to wood, and then cut it out with the bandsaw, and then just screwed a couple of layers of ply together. So this was that thick. So that's a couple of layers together and then a piece on the bottom. So I had something to hammer into to get this, obviously. So these pieces here I'm actually cut out of the original. I think I might be able to save this piece and put that on the back of there. The brace on the other end's rotten, so I won't use that. I'll make a new one. And this bulge here, I think I might just cut that out of there and put it in, or I could just hammer it in. You see, I could trace that, cut a circle in a couple of layers of that out of a bit of ply and hammer it into it, but it might be just as easy to weld it in. And this here would be definitely easier to weld in. It's a tricky little shape to make. And if I use the original, then it looks more factory. So yeah, we'll sort of carry on, get this finished today. I don't know, it'll be another few hours of work. Hopefully I don't run out of gas with the welder. I'm still waiting on the other bottle to be filled. The owner of the workshop, he was meant to get this small bottle filled for me the other day, but he ran out of time. I haven't actually gone back in to get my compressor yet, so I may end up doing that. I don't know. I haven't heard back from the guys to say that compressor's been repaired, so I don't know. They were waiting on parts for it. Well, and they were hoping that was going to fix the problem. It was tripping out under low load, so I don't really know what was going on. It's under warranty, so we just took it back. So where we got it from, well, kinda. They took it round to, there's a repair shop there in the corner from them. So yeah, we went round there and they've been working on it, so hopefully we'll have that back in the next day or two, or early next week or whatever. Well, today's Friday, so if I don't get it back today, it'll be next week. So yeah, we'll get working on this. I think I might just check the shape of that before I go too much further and get that dialed in, because we're just about finished with this end. And then we'll come along and do that end. And then we'll start transferring some of these pieces into here. We'll transfer them into that edge. I have actually drawn them on here. So we'll recheck that now that we've got it formed. You know what I mean? We'll recheck that now that we've got that shape of it, just in case something's moved a little bit here and there. and we'll go from there. Yeah, righty. So yeah, I need to take a bit more out of here. It's a bit flat through there. Unfortunately, yeah, I didn't quite got enough. I don't need to take much out of it, just a little bit, and then the shape will look a little bit better on the hammer form. So yeah, I'll quickly take a bit more out of there on the belt sander, and we'll go from there. I'll just draw a bit of a black line in here, just so I've got a wee bit more of a reference. There's my black mark on. That's all I really need, if you know what I mean. So it's curved from the ear down, so we don't need to go hard out and over here. That's better. We'll screw that back together and we'll get hammering. Righty, so I've got that screwed back down. So we'll hammer this back in here a bit more. We can get a bit of slightly nicer shape. And then we'll hammer this flat and try and dial in a little bit. We'll go from there. That's better. It didn't take too much to change that. One more comparison here. Just cut it the road so it's not in the road. So this side, let's put it back on. Better just fine tuning. Like hammering a dolly probably. Probably do a bit more. It's a bit sharper, isn't it? A bit sharper. Use to compare that. Where's my profile tool? I don't know if that'll go in there or not. I don't know if I get enough shape, if you know what I mean. Find that, see if it'll make me that shape up. Needs to be longer. Yeah, look, should get a one of the ones that's around about that long, so I can get a bit more of a profile. Close. Rough with you. Rough with you. more shaping than you get, isn't it? It's coming to you out. Right here, I think. Take this off again, just do it more reshaped in here. We'll get it close. I just think it's a bit flat through there, it's not sharp enough. It's right. I don't mind doing it a couple of times, it doesn't take too much to do it. Right, it's having a little bit more shape into here. So it'll be pulling back into here a bit more. I'll tell you what, just recently, I've been getting a whole heap of friend requests on Facebook. So 90% of the people seem to be pretty genuine. I'm a family through other car channels and, you know, friends and bits and pieces, like with all the other people and car channels I follow. You know, through YouTube, and we all follow each other sort of type things, and we're getting quite a lot of extra friend requests that people obviously that follow them and wherever, you know, through Facebook. That's really cool, and I don't mind that, you know, I don't mind adding somebody if they're a genuine car person. But I was just trying to message, somebody was messaging me before, somebody that added that, you know, seemed to be, you know, a legit sort of car follower, and they started waffling on me about some stuff. They're obviously in a different part of the world. But I said, sorry mate, I'm busy at the moment. You know, I'm trying to work on trying to get this piece made for this car. You know, can we talk later? You know, and when I don't start answering their questions or answering their messages because I'm here trying to work, they start sending me freaking question marks. You know, oh, you know, you answer me? Mate, I'm trying to fucking work. I'm at work. Trying to restore this Dodge that somebody's paid me for. After he sent me about 3 question marks, and I checked the phone when after I was videoing. I said, look mate, I'm at work, trying to make these pieces for this 24 Dodge I'm working on that somebody's paid me to restore. Me standing here talking to you at the moment, this is a waste of my time. You know, when I can talk to you later on at some other point, you know, when I'm free. You know, if it takes a while to get messages and backs and forwards because we're in a different part of the world, well, that's what it is, you know. Don't start sending me question marks because I'm not fucking answering your questions. So, hello, mate. I'm not sitting at home twiddling my thumbs like you probably are, wherever you are in the world, you know. I'm at work trying to fucking work. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. But anyway, we'll get hammering. Here's a little cut, whatever that is down there. We can't be far away now. Can't be far away now. Could probably go back in there a little bit, but I think that's way better than it was before. If it was quite flat, we'll probably pull it back. You know, 1/4 of an inch or more. Just sit the other one beside it again. And screw that of course to the side.
So all you know is see if it's better. I think we're where we need to be, I think. Well, close enough, you know. Close enough. Close enough for the money that's been spent on the car anyway. That's as much as, you know, I could spend hours and hours and hours here screwing around with it. You know, we're on a strict budget, so I can't be wasting, you know, a week trying to make one panel. It'd be absolute, totally perfection.
Still like this bit to be a bit more sharper though. I think we're getting there. We'll just have one more go, I think. And just hold that on there. A little bit closer, see if I can get a nice overhead down position shot. Yeah, it's not bad. Just trying to. Yeah, I just think it's too full in here yet. I think I need to bring this in something like that. Just somewhere in that sort of ballpark, I think. Because I won't throw this away, you know. If I ever have to do another one, you know, I've got a piece there, you know. Some of these bits I have reused and saved at some points, but you know, you just if I have to make another one, I've got the profile for that in, if you know. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. We'll have one more go. But we haven't, you know, chopping and changing this. It's probably going to take me 20 minutes, you know what I mean? So I haven't wasted a massive amount of time here, as long as it's taken me 3 hours to change it. It's pretty simple, quick. Fix. Pretty simple, quick fix. A little adjustment here and there. And just keep looking at it and I'll do with that little drill. Yeah. Like. Fine, screw it. I'll sit that on there for a second. Yeah, that's better. We'll blend this. Back through here a little bit more. We're getting close, we're not quite far enough, not quite deep enough down in where we're sort of concentrating through here, but we sort of need to go just a little bit deeper. Yeah, sweet. I think we've got enough time. Really close. Really close. Right. We'll dial that in and we'll carry on. Right. So I think I'm pretty happy with that now. And around here, it's smoothed out enough in the meantime. I may come back and revisit a couple of spots. I might turn it back over and just hammer it a bit here, but back the other way. It's a wee bit funny just right there, but it's close enough. You know, a skimmer body filler and you'd never know. I would like to do a little bit more work on it. I think what we'll do is we'll leave the seam alone. We'll go dial that end and make it look like the other one. So we'll lay this back on the bench, we'll lay that over top, work out what we've got to trim and cut and whatever up here, so we can hammer that all out, and flatten it out and start putting just a tiny little bit of shape in here. And work out where we sort of go from this full curve to where it sort of peters out and this sort of sinks back into here. You know what I mean? And we'll stretch it out and whatever. We may have to make another small form or something. We might have to do maybe just a layer, sort of mold form into here. I'm not sure yet. We'll just have to do a really good study of that. Or we might have a better look at the other one that's not quite so rotten down here, just to get a little more of an idea of the shape. We'll lay it on there and we'll have a look. Right, so we have got to, I've already marked it once, but I'm going to cut this off here, so we can fold that out, and from, I would say, from probably here, is about where it's probably still full. Anyway. It's got quite a bit of transition in it still. It's an ugly bit. So it's still fairly full there. It's even probably still fullish in here. But like sort of here, it's really starting to flatten out, but we've still got a bit of a curve in it, if you know what I mean. But it needs to be cut here so we can mush that down. Sorry, even phone shut off. It's not even that fucking hot and it's still fucking overheated. My recording in 1080p as well, which annoys me. So, yeah, well, it basically runs out of shape to you. You can still feel it a little bit. It still very slightly runs up into there. I mean, it's sort of more gradual from back here. So, I think what we'll do is I'll probably cut a maybe just one layer of a couple of bits of those scrap of that ply, and we'll wank it onto something. So from about here on, we'll just run it out so I can sort of hammer form it, but a little bit, if you know what I mean. Once we get this flattened out, so we can just put a little bit of gentle shape in it and pull it, and we can clamp it down on the edges and just bring a little bit of shape, and or take a little bit of shape out, however which way you want to look at it, if you know what I mean. But yeah, well, what we'll do is we'll beat this all flat first along this edge back in here a bit. You know, I won't go too crazy this way, but we'll blend sort of this part of it out so it's flattened off, and then we can reshape it and sort of just bring this in gradual and, you know, flatten this out a little bit as we come through here. And obviously dial it in and whatever and mark all the bits out. So I've got it clamped in here. I sort of altered the position a little bit. I sort of clamped it up a bit tighter, but yeah. We're not far away. Hopefully another half an hour, maybe an hour, and we should have this sorted. just to get it smoothed out and cleaned up. Hopefully. Anyway, I'll let the phone cool down, and yeah, I'll get doing some more, and we'll bring you back later on. Anyway, right, so I've done a little bit of flattening through here. I haven't gone too far with it yet. Sort of started flattening out through here. I need to flatten it back more. Yeah, and then we'll decide what we're going to do in here. I just sort of initially flattened it back here, but I need to flatten this back out more. This is actually going to push out like that, and I'm going to have to re-profile this around here somewhere. This actually might be harder than that end because it's more subtle. We'll see, you know. Well, by the time I get dialed in, this isn't helping either because it's sort of holding things queer, so it stops things from looking so good. I just wanted to lay it in this way instead of the other way, so I can sort of see this a bit more compared with this side. So yeah, I'll hammer that out a bit more, probably up to about here. I'll flatten this out a bit, and we'll come back and have another wee look. Righty, so this is what I come up with for a game plan for this. I've cut this, you know, just drawn some marks on here, so I know roughly where things sit. I'm drawing that mark there to correspond with where this is cut. Hopefully. You should sit somewhere about there. That cut lines up there. So now I can come along and we'll put maybe a clamp on here somewhere. Maybe another one back here so it doesn't flop around. And I can slowly beat just because it's tucked in here just underneath, back underneath here, so I can pull this back down and get our shape back. Hopefully, and just pull that in there gently. I don't want a big deep thing like this, but we'll just gently bring it in. Sits here. I'll sit that on there for reference. Get nuts around the wrong way. I'll leave this one here as reference just because it's less worn, if you know what I mean. So it doesn't have to be much, there's basically nothing out here. It's just gentle. But we need to get something back in there, if you know what I mean. Right, I'm starting to get in some shape in it. Obviously we've got a bit more to go, get dialed in, you know, like the other end, cleaned up and whatever, and get this sort of smoothed out so it's reasonable. So it looks like, well, so it looks like this sort of profile. It's very subtle through here. I probably got it a bit much, but you know, we'll finagle it and blend it in. We may have to pull this down a little bit, but it kind of is what it is, you know what I mean? Like I said, you can't look at both sides at the same time. by the time we dialed in a little bit more, we might better just flatten this out a little bit and maybe flatten this back here a little bit more so it's not quite so sharp. I might actually hammer this into that mould wherever I made it. Wherever it's sitting now, doesn't matter. Wherever it is, the piece I made for here, I might actually hammer that into there, just so it's not so prominent. It's actually quite sharp there. Where the rest of this is actually fairly subtle. So it might just improve things. Actually might do it here too. Yeah, I might use it. It might just take a little bit of this heavy corner out. Just blend it out a little bit further. But we'll see. Anyway, it's looking quite good. Now we've got this fairly well dialed in here now. You know, we might do a little bit more. Obviously got to trim and weld bits on and whatever, but and obviously weld that whole thing in there and whatever, but I think generally we're pretty good for shape. Might do a little bit more work, and the rest of it will be body work. You know, a bit of skim filler, and we'll probably end up skimming the whole thing. You know, because we've been hammering on it in different places, so we'll end up probably skimming the whole thing on the other side and sand it out and whatever, you know. And by the time we're finished, you won't know. You know, it's only going to be freaking a 16th of an inch in the worst of the places. You know, it might be a little bit more, and here we've had to shape that in, but it's kind of be expected, you know. It won't be much until we've finished. But yeah, that's where we're up to. So I'm going to have some lunch, and we'll come back and we'll finish dialing this in. And then we'll clean it up, and we'll cut all these other bits and weld all the belt bits. Hopefully we'll get this finished by the end of today. We'll see. But yeah, it's amazing how long it takes to make one panel. So we spent part of the day the other day making that form, a little bit yesterday making these other bits. And we started making that one yesterday, made that today, you know, measuring it out, whatever. So we're 3 days into making this. Sure, the next one wouldn't take so long because I've already made the bits. But yeah, just to make a one-off piece, a couple of 3 days work, you know. And we haven't, so yeah, it'll be probably 2.5, 3-ish by the time we've just made it, let alone finishing it. So yeah, you know, it takes a while to get this stuff, especially when you're going to make it. Anyway, we'll catch you later on. Righty, so I think at this point I'm finished hammering. I think you might just have to, I don't know, I was actually contemplating just slip it in the English wheel, but I don't know if I actually get close enough to there or to there to maybe smooth out a few of these pieces just to give it a quick, but I don't think it's actually that bad. Through the majority of it's actually okay. You know, we've got to weld this and shit yet, so there'll be a wee bit of mucking around, but I think we're pretty good. So I'm just going to lay this one over top. Well, actually, this here was bent, so I'll just straighten it out. So I'm going to lay it over top just to double check, make sure where we want to be. So I'll throw you up on the tripod. I'll throw that on, and we'll see where we're at. Make sure, so I'm actually too deep here. I was just wondering that. I don't think it's here. I think it might tapered. What we meant to be tapered back there. So we might have to do a little bit of fixing here. I don't think we're a million miles away though. I think we're a million miles away. And this here might be meant to have a little more curve in it. Might just have to try and hammer this in a bit more on this back piece. Right. We might just have to reduce this height a little bit. We can always just taper it back a little. Might even be able to just hand dolly it. Just fold that edge over a wee bit earlier, just part that around. I think everything else looks okay. Right. Everything else looks alright. Pretty. Yeah, but the rest obviously we're going to do trimming. Get rid of the shit we don't want, but now, but that looks pretty good. Apart from that, right? Everything else looks to be pretty close, as far as I can see. Maybe I can just lay a couple of slices in there and then just reshape that edge of it. Right, so I'll just trim that down, screw this back down. So we'll hammer this back. It's a bit of a pain in the butt to have to do it now, but we're only going to probably have to go back to probably here somewhere. I think the rest of it should be okay. But you'll just hammer this back so it's not quite so deep. Like we just got a bit overzealous there, unfortunately. That's alright. No, it's something you don't pick up, but it's an easier fix. It shouldn't take too long to fix. I only really need my with this, and I'll just hammer it back, and that'll fold back out. We might have to do a little bit of smoothing, but I think it'll be right. We won't take much to do that. We'll set it up in tripod and we'll quickly sort that out, and then we'll get into getting these bits in. Right, I just got to go get the welder, but I I just cleaned up the edges and the corners and bits and pieces just so we can get this in here nicely. And I just hammered this a little bit flatter. It was a little bit, obviously that was slightly different shape, but just grab a screwdriver and just wiggle that round so it's dead in the centre where it should be. And we can get a few tacks on it and weld it in. We'll probably do a little bit of hammer and dolling around it, but that's all good. Get in there. I don't have a teak, so I can't teak without it, but she'll be good. Don't think anybody will know by the time I'm finished. Oh, once it falls out like that. I'll go get the welder and we'll start again. Bloody thing. Righty. This time, hopefully. That's handy. Flat dolly. Alright, just gave this clean up on the outside, and I just popped a couple little bits of weld in the back from the back side, just where it was the odd freaking hole that I'd sort of missed from the other side. So I'm just going to flip that over and just give it a one more clean up. You see me using grinding disc, I was hardly putting any weight on it, just enough to try and pull the weld down. That would be obviously the big advantage of using a TIG. You know, one day we'll get one and then we'll better start practicing with that. But you kind of use what you can use. So I'll flip this over and give another wee clean up on the other side. And I'll give it a bit of a hammer and dolly. It's pulled in a little bit here, but I think by the time I give it a hammer and dolly and use a slapper across here, it'll get that bit of a sort of sunken that way instead of being sort of flat and maybe slightly curved this way. It's pulled over, so we'll just we'll put the big slapper on the back, and I'll just give it a wee bit of a dolly back, and it should pop it back the other way. Should be pretty good. It hasn't moved too bad. We'll just give it a wee bit of a hammer and dolly around and give it a clean up, and it should be good. And then I might trim the worst of the excess off, and if I get a chance, I'll start tacking this in. Seeing that how I'm going to wear and sit that weld that in, so it's comfortable, and check the time. Obviously got to clean those up properly, trim a bit more crack up here, drill a few holes, and weld that in. But they're getting really close now. Right, morning guys. So, Saturday morning. So I want to try and get this bit as finished as I can. Hopefully I'll get it all the way. We'll try. I'm going to work till lunchtime, slightly after 8. So I've got to weld. Yeah, got that little zoom on the front. So weld this in. Finished trimming the other stuff up. Dial these pieces in that I started cutting out yesterday roughly with the grinder. Clean them up. And then hopefully if I get time, it shouldn't take me too long to weld it in, but by the time I weld it in and clean it up and dress it and whatever and make it look tidy like, well, tidy-ish, like this piece, it'll take a wee while. You know, it's probably, there might be an hour or so in mucking around with that, just by the time you weld and clean up and turn it over and fill a few pinholes and dress it and whatever, and tidy up on both sides. Yeah, and then we're going to obviously do a little bit of clean up on those pieces we've nicked out. Yeah, and then the only other thing we're going to do after that is drill the holes in for the bolts, and put the reinforcing brackets on. One I'm going to try and use off the original, and then I might grab a bit of the, I don't know, I'll have to have a quick measure up just to see how thick what that one is that I'm going to reuse off. And I don't know whether I'll use 1.6 or 2 mil, and we'll make the other one for the other end, because the other one's it's rotten through, and whereas the other one's actually looks like it's fairly clean. I'll find out when I get it off. But apart from that, actually that panel at least finished, so I can do body work per se, if you know what I mean. I just skim a body filler, block it out, prime it, or etch it, body filler, primer, block sand it. Oh, we've got to do a little bit. I want to get that. I want to find that bit of steel tube, and I'll do a little bit of hammer and dolly on this too. Just there's those fold marks in there a little bit, and I might use it maybe a little bit from this edge too. We might paint too much along the edge, but you can actually feel the folds. It's not too bad down here, just right at the stand, but we might just hammer that. If I can find a bit of tube, I might tack weld it to a bit of steel, put that in the vise and just lay it over it and just do a little bit of light hammering on that. So yeah, I think that's about where we're at. So I've got a bit of heavy, bit of galv, small galv pipe. I might do that over. We'll give it maybe a quick DA up or something like that, just so it's hasn't got any shit on it. And yeah, we'll hand form that as well. Righty, so that last session with welding that on there and panel beating and welding that in and cleaning up and trimming all that was almost an hour and a half, not quite that long. So I think apart from finished DAing it inside and out and just cleaning up the surfaces for etching, and maybe just a last little hammer and dolly somewhere, but I think I'm pretty good now. The only other thing we're going to do is get, well, not that one, this one. You get that off there. We'll have a quick look at this one. I think it's past it. It's got these holes in it. So we'll remake that. Trying to think, does it actually look any? It might be 1.6, I think. See if I can get in there. Get my calipers handy. I'll find my calipers and amongst my mess. I know I had them somewhere. She says, "Schmozzle, I gotta clean up." That's the worst thing when you're doing this. But anyway, I'll grab my calipers. We'll check what thickness that is, just so I can make the other piece. I might have a smaller scrap over there that might be easy to work with. And yeah, we'll get that one off. We'll make that one. I'll probably will get that one off if I can, and then use it as a pattern. And we'll drill these holes out, and then we'll cut these holes for the bolt holes, And then we'll do, I don't know, a few plug welds, and we'll weld them on and grind that off, and we should be done. And we'll just give it a final clean up and get that ready for etch. Yeah, and just double check, do another layover, make sure that we're happy with whatever. That worked pretty good. I will leave that on there, unless I desperately need it for something else. That was a tool I made for trying to make door handle trims that didn't really work properly, because it was crap. We ended up getting the door handles made, and actually, funnily, after we started getting those door handles made, I actually found all the original trims. But it doesn't matter. They're done now, and that's actually probably better anyway. They're nice and solid and strong. They shouldn't break. Because the other ones might have, if you know what I mean. Just the way they were made. They were all solid, basically. But anyway, so that worked good. So yeah, just planished out the hash of the couple of 3 bends that were in here. There's still a little bit down here, but it's not that bad. Like, it's basically nothing through here. And that goes down to a point. You can just feel it a little bit through here, but the rest of it will actually blend out pretty nicely with a scraper body filler and a few coats of high build. So yeah, we're pretty good there. I don't think there's anything else we really need to come back and dial on. There was a little bit of pitting in here, but I'm not worried about that. We'll fill it with skimmer body filler and a few coats of high build. It'll be fine. So yeah, we'll just drill some holes and put those pieces on. So I'll get them off. Let my phone cool down for a while because it's pretty warm, and whatever. And we'll come back to when we're getting close to putting these other pieces on. Right, so I've got these pieces off. I might actually use this one, but I might just put a wee repair panel in there because the rest it's good. It's just that piece that's a bit stuffed, but it won't be hard to just lay that over a piece, trace it out, cut it off, and just zap it in. Like, it's probably just as easy to cut it and whatever, but these holes are in the right position. And this one here is pretty good. It's got a little bit of pitting in it too, where it was, but it's not actually that bad. So I've just laid this over, remarked my positions because I've just cleaned the whole thing down, remarked all the positions for the holes. So I'll take that off. Unfortunately, I try to do it up the other way, but it doesn't fit quite as nice over the inside as it does the outside. I would have rather marked on the inside, but I might do that yet still, but just as a cross reference, it just didn't seem to fit quite as nicely the other way. Because I've given this panel a really good clean up inside and out, like DA. Oh, not, I didn't DA. I just used the Rolex. Just so all the shit off. I will DA the main flat surface inside and outside again, just to clean it up a little bit smoother. But I just made sure all the crap and everything was all off it. So this one here goes like that. It fits pretty much up to the edge of that. Oh, I think I'll just lay that back down and sit that on there and just make sure we do get the right position. Just double check. We'll cross-reference both sides. And that one goes on there. So I think with that little repair in there, it'll be fine. So, yeah. We'll do that. We'll give that a little repair. We'll just double check that. At least then we can put, it only had like a few little tiny little tacks. One here. Like, they're only just 2 or 3 little spots. Obviously there might have been one in here. So we'll just drill a few little holes in here, weld it on, and then I think I'll come along and I'll drill these out through it, and then just get the my small die grinder bit, and we'll just open the holes up in the main panel. Once I've got a couple of holes drilled, we'll just open them up. We'll just make sure we're in the dead right spot, and yeah, we'll prep them, do a little repair on that one, and weld them in. Right, so this is all, but I just want to open those holes up a little bit. But apart from that, we're done. Might have to just dial those holes in a little bit more too, but I just cleaned them out quickly. Might just have to do a little bit of filing and whatever, just muck around with them a little bit. You know, after we do once we get a few bits and pieces back together, we'll do a test fit, just make sure everything is honky-dory. But one new side valance. 3 days later. And like I said, like if I had to make another one, I could probably make it. I don't know, maybe because I'm not having to muck around to make the other pieces. So maybe 1.75, 2 days, maybe 1.5, if everything went well. But yeah, because I'm not having to do all the extra dialing and whatever, except for turn the that other buck over a little bit, and I would probably modify it just so this was that shallower, like I had to change. But yeah, done. It's like a new one. I'm pretty happy with that. We might have to trim a little bit along that edge or something like that if there happens to be any issues, you know, with just depth or clearance or whatever. But yeah, I have to change that weld through. They don't bite that. It's weird. Tail there, right? But anyway, yeah. I think I might get that copper weld through. I've been still using that up, but I don't know, it just for some reason hasn't held there. And it's got plenty of heat mark on the back of it. But anyway, it's done. Righty guys, so we'll call this here for this video. We're actually going to do an ending on this one. Sometimes I just don't know where I'm quite going to end the videos. It's just kind of where it works out with the footage sometimes. But yeah, that's the end of this video. So again, thanks everybody for the new subs lately. Thanks for all the new followers and friend requests on Facebook. Much appreciated. But the ones on Facebook I am going to have a fairly hard look at, because I don't want a lot of garbage coming through. You know, I'd rather just, if you're a genuine car person and I can see that you're following other car people, or, you know, in your stuff, that I can have a quick look on Facebook and I can see that you're into cars and bits and pieces, I'm happy to add you as a friend. But yeah, just like that, earlier on this video, I think it was, I said that I all of a sudden started getting messages from this guy person, whoever it was, and they were getting pissy because I wasn't messaging back, and they were sending me heaps of question marks why I hadn't answered them, and I'd already explained that I'm at work and busy. You know, I'll answer when I can, sort of type thing, or I'll talk to you later. So yeah, it's like people like that, if they're going to get annoying and whatever like that, and want me to answer them straight away when I'm busy trying to film and make parts and work, you know, I don't want to be, I'm already taking extra time filming, so I can't waste too much more, if you know what I mean. I don't mind answering, especially really personal friends and whatever, don't mind answering those questions, or maybe later on down the line if we become really good mates and whatever, but you know what I mean, I'm not going to sit there and answer every freaking question every 2 seconds. So if you're going to be doing that, well, I'll just unfriend you and block you or whatever. Doesn't worry me. A lot of people I don't know, but I'm happy for people to follow and ask questions if they want to. And on here, be much appreciated if you are getting to the end of the videos and you are following. If you don't have a YouTube profile, and you're watching this through Facebook or something else, please give me a at least make one and give me a sub or something like that if you are following all the time. It would be much appreciated. Yeah, and give me a thumbs up. I know, because if you don't have a profile, you can still watch through Facebook or whatever, but you can't like or whatever. Like, if you are regular, please sub, and it doesn't cost you anything. Make up a profile on YouTube and just use your Google account or whatever, you know. And yeah, give me a thumbs up and a like, and ask a question, leave a comment, whatever. It'd be much appreciated, because it just helps push the system, you know. All those little clicks and bits and pieces, you know, makes things flow, because my numbers are creeping up, the views are creeping up, which is really cool. Car show videos normally do pretty good if it's a big one, like the Cornwall car shows, like, you know, 1,500 or 1,600 views now. But again, on that, I've had hardly any likes at all, which kind of sucks. You know, if there was a whole heap of people giving it a like, you know, even if it was a couple of hundred, would make a hell of a difference to how it gets pushed out. But that's awesome. So yeah, the panels work good. Anyway, we'll see you in the next video, which will be me Monday. So when I'm working, you know, it's good to get that finished. Thanks for watching. Cheers.
Welcome to Iron Outlaws. Stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss this.